we are going to discuss about the linear and non-linear problems and time variant and time invariant problems. Okay. So before getting into the problem, let us discuss what is linear and non-linear systems. So can you tell me what is the difference between linear and non-linear systems?
Linear system obeys superposition principle and non-linear system does not obey the
Superposition principle. Very good. So what is the difference between the time variant and time invariant system?
Time variant works with change in time.
Changes in time.
Variant does not change in time.
Actually, time variant is varies with time. Time invariant is doesn't varies with time. So these are the basic concept we know, correct? So if I want to check whether my given system is linear or non-linear, time variant or time invariant, I have to follow the same superposition theorem and also the law of homogeneous and law of additivity for the time invariant and time variant. So let us discuss the whether system is linear or non-linear first. Okay. So I have taken a system y of t is equal to x square of t. So I have to analyze whether the system is linear or non-linear. So what my basic principle is, the system have to follow the superposition theorem. So first I am taking that superposition theorem, law of additivity, that is left hand side should be equal to right hand side, that is x1 of t plus x2 of t should give y1 of t plus y2 of t. That should both the input and output response should be equal. So I am taking left hand side. Before getting to the left hand side, what I am considering here is, if y of t is equal to x of t, then y1 of t should be equal to x1 of t. So y2 of t should be equal to x2 of t. So I am considering the two conditions. So now I am taking this left hand side. What is my left hand side? a1 x1 of t, a2 x2 of t summation. So here I know x2 of t stands for x1 of t. If x2 of t is mentioned here, it stands for x2 square. Just changing my x values alone. So in the left hand side, I am just changing the x variable alone with respect to x1 and x2. That is a1 and a2. Here x1 and x2. x1, x2, I am changing x1, x2. Just the x term alone. For the right hand side, what is my right hand side? a1, y1 plus a2, y2. So what I am doing is, I am going to substitute this y1 term. So a1, y1 term plus a2, y2 term. So I am just comparing this additivity formula. My left hand side and right hand side both are said to be equal. So it satisfies my superposition conditions additive formula. So automatically my system is said to be linear. So I am just considering another system. That system stands for 5x of t plus 3. Now I am going to check for the left hand side. Left hand side is a1 x1, a2 x2. So a1, a2 remains the same. x1 5x1 of t plus 3. x2 5x2 of 3 plus 3. But what happens here is, only one term has the x term, while another is the constant term. So I have to apply for the x term alone. What I am varying here? X term alone varies. So 5x1, 5x1, 5x2 alone varies, where this constant doesn't varies because it doesn't have the x term. Only one term has the x, so that term alone varies. Constant term doesn't vary. I am not going to disturb my constant term. Now right hand side, y1, I know y1 of t will be 5x1 of t plus 3. y2 of t will be 5x2 of t plus 3. So what I am doing here is, a1 I am keeping same, 5x1 of t plus 3 I am substituting, plus a2 remains the same, this 5x2 of t plus 3 I am substituting. So here even the constant term applies because I am changing the overall y term. If I am taking the overall y term, I have to consider all the terms. If I am taking the x term, I have to consider which term, which variable, polynomial variable, that term alone I will be considering. So here compare the left hand side and right hand side. Here 3 remains constant, doesn't vary. But here 3 also varies, 3a1, 3a2. So automatically left hand side is not equivalent to your right hand side. That is your additive formula is not satisfied. So system is said to be non-linear. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So first condition and foremost condition you have to check for is a superposition theorem. Where superposition theorem you can just check for your necessary condition, that is additivity. In additivity, the standard term is you have to compare your left hand side equal to your right hand side. That is, whenever your changes in the response, that will be reflected in your input also. So I am taking the left hand side, right hand side. I am just varying the terms. If I am taking the x term, I have to change only the x term. If I am taking the y term, I have to change overall y term. That's the difference between here. Here only x term is presented. So whatever changes you make, that will not be reflected. But here I have x term as well as a constant term. So if there is a changes in your x term, automatically it will be reflected in your x term. Okay, so that is the major difference between these two problems. Is there any doubt?
No.
So same you can find it for your time variant and time invariant problem also. Time variant is whenever there is changes in your input, that should be reflected in your output. So observe carefully, y of t. If I vary this t, that will be reflected in this term. But whereas here, if I vary this term, only this term will be varying, where your constant doesn't vary. So this remains your time invariant. This remains your remains your time invariant. This is your time variant, where input doesn't reflect with your output. Okay, so within your system you can analyze whether the system is said to be linear or non-linear, system is time variant or time. Once you look the system, you can identify. Whenever the constant term appears, the system is said to be non-linear and time variant. But whenever only x term presented without any other constant term, you can clearly set it as system is linear and time invariant. Okay. So in the next class we will discuss about the other problems. Thank you.
Thank you.